Hey everyone, it's Julie Salant. How are you? I am your intuitive healer for your life and your business. And today I'm doing a series of shorter audios and videos for you for this month of March 2021. I thought that it would be a little bit easier to break it up in terms of doing something for 15 minutes versus 30 or 45 minutes because a lot of people are running around constantly. So these are going to all fall together. My training and teaching is going to include some of the spiritual laws of the universe, as well as taking those laws and making them into, your own and bringing them into your life today, because I truly believe that everything that you learn and you hear needs to be in the context of today and how that can help you today, right? So it doesn't work so great if it was 5,000 years ago. We needed to kind of respond to today's crisis, where you are today in this world, how you're showing up today. And there is going to be an Empowered You coaching session for 3 months after this that I'll tell you about. But today's topic is one that I have struggled with myself for a while. And it's how to choose yourself without being selfish, egotistical, or a narcissist. And I know that's quite a mouthful. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because in the culture, if you're in my age group, for so many of us, we were taught not to put ourselves first, especially for the women out there. We were taught to put ourselves last, and that if you put yourself first, it was egotistical. It was, you being selfish. How could you? It was about you not being disciplined and respectful of others, even to the point where you were a narcissist and that you were choosing yourself above everyone else. And by the way, the definition of a narcissist is a person who has an excessive intent or admirability of themselves. So, nobody wants to be a narcissist. Nobody wants to be so consumed with themselves, especially in today's day and age. We all are trying to shift and to be more aware of, as humans, of how we can better the planet, how we can better ourselves, how we can better others. And how do we do that? We do that by being on point, on mission. And if you don't know what your mission is and you don't know why you're here, that's a very big deal that you need to get dialed into. And putting yourself first, I think, is a big part of that, because so many of us, whether it be personally or professionally, for years professionally, I floundered because I never put myself first. I always was a people pleaser. I always was empathic. I always was able to feel other people's pain. And I wanted to serve my parents and make them proud of me. And I chose paths that they had already walked because I thought that that's what they wanted from me. And as you may or may not know, when I went to college, my mother paid for college for me, but she wanted me to be a secretary. Now, remember, this is back in the day. So back then, that was a very stable position. And she wanted me to have that so that I could fall back on it if everything else, kind of went to pot. And I didn't want to do that. Anybody that knows me, if you've been around me for any length of time, knows that I'm a very ambitious, spontaneous person. Sitting in a cubicle day after day is not my thing. It's not my jam. I'm very much of a go-getter, a free-flowing person. And it was not serving me. But she kind of told me, in not so many words, you really need to do this or else I'm not going to pay for college. Now, don't get me wrong. My parents were wonderful, wonderful parents. But what happened was I was such a people pleaser that I decided to take a path that was her path. It wasn't my path. And that never sat well with me. And what happens is there are consequences for every choice that you make, right? Whether it's a good choice for you or a bad choice for you, there are always consequences that are negative, and there are positive outcomes as well. But for me, to not choose myself was both on a conscious and subconscious level. And I mention this because this may be what's happening to you. You may be just waking up right now, and you may have had a very good career or a very good marriage or a very good life until now. And then when this pandemic hit, all of a sudden, things aren't working for you any longer. You're frustrated, you're angry, you don't understand why your world is being shaken up like this. And the reason that this is happening is it's an opportunity for you, not against you. It's happening for you so that you can re-examine all these different aspects of your life. Because if you know anything about what I teach, it's that for wealth, for abundance, for prosperity of mind, body, spirit, heart, soul, you need to be in alignment with your mission, and who the truth of yourself is where that starts. Let me say that again. Who the truth of who you are starts with wealth and prosperity. That's how you get there. So a couple of things that I really want to go over with you today, and I made some notes, is if you really want to change, we were brought up to think that this was bad. We shouldn't be choosing ourselves. It was very egotistical. It was very much frowned upon. It was, you could be considered a narcissist. You could be considered as stepping over other people, consumed with yourself, which is terrible. And that you always should put yourself last. And I meet men and women in this, that go through this. It's not just women. Now, some of the results, the consequences of these, besides the fact that you'd be considered a complete jerk, a complete idiot, a complete ass, being selfish, being egotistical, is that you'd be unhappy in a lot of circumstances of your life. Why? Quite simply because you've chosen to take someone else's path and be something that you are not, right? Let's just say that you wanted to be an archaeologist, but I told you that you needed to be a secretary, and there's nothing wrong with secretaries, or an assistant, an admin assistant, because that's what you needed to do to go to school. That would be a completely different path for you. It would take different assets that you have or may not have. It would put you in a place of, it might be okay at first, but then it would catch up to you because that's not the person that you are under, that's not the vibe that you have. So the consequences would be that you would be very unhappy in your life in almost every area, because you would not be following your North Star. You would not be following your mission here on earth and why you're here. And even if you don't have that all fleshed out yet, you would be someone who would be angry, frustrated, mad, feeling very much a fish out of water, feeling like this is not my path, but I don't know how to get on my path, because here's what happens. And I'll tell you this from experience, and I'm just going to talk professionally. When you are not on your path and you make a change, from there, I went into sales, and I thought, I'm just going to go for the money. And I do love people, and I do like talking to people, and I do like helping them. But it was kind of like taking a goldfish and putting them into a shark tank. And you either have to turn to a shark or you'll be eaten, you'll be killed, because guppies and goldfish don't live near sharks for very long, right? So I needed to change into somebody again that I was not. So again, I was morphing into somebody that I really wasn't. I'm not that cutthroat bitch. I'm here to help you and serve you and really want to expand your business. Being cutthroat is really not in my nature. But what happens is, if you go down that path for a while, let's just say a few years, now you might be getting, doing pretty well and you're making money. So to step back out of that and either go back to school or do a new change in your life can be very daunting. It can be very stressful. It can be economically not right for you at this point, because maybe you're making a good amount of money now and you're like, how am I going to go back and start all over again? And as you get on in life and you get older and you get into your 30s, your 40s, even your 50s, a lot of people think that their life is over. Now it's really too late. It's really too late. I'm too old. I can't pivot like that anymore. I'm not smart enough. I'm not capable. I don't have all the right connections. I don't have enough money, and on it goes. That's all a lie. The truth is, you can change at any time. As long as you're breathing and you're still here on earth, you can change this at any time. You can pivot. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter the connections that you don't have. What matters is that you have free will and you can change easily. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be an easy transition all the way through, but by making that one decision, you can change your life. So the consequences of not following your North Star. You'll be out of alignment. You will be very frustrated, angry, sad. You will not have chosen yourself first. And you will always feel like you are maybe giving in and just kind of settling, right? You're not really being the true you that you could be, having all the fame or all the love in the world that you really truly want, because you're settling for something that feels comforting at the time. And then you'll not want to step out of that box because it's too comforting. And then you get used to the box, even though you really belong outside of the box. This happens to a lot of people. And it can be hard to come to that realization that you've kind of coddled yourself and that you kind of have settled. But getting to that point is the first step in you realizing that, yes, I really do need to change. I really do need to be true to myself. Now, remember, there are also positives out of this, but do note that when you are frustrated, angry, upset, sad, all of that resonates with you, and that's what you're broadcasting out into the universe. And the universe will bring that right back to you tenfold. So if you're upset, if you're not in abundance, if you're sad, frustrated, all that comes back to you times 10. So you've got to really think about, this affects everyone. It doesn't just affect you. It affects you as a person. It affects your family. It affects everyone that you know, and it affects the universe. Now, some of the positive outcomes, if you are in alignment, you'll be in alignment with your true soul purpose. You'll be happy. You'll be fulfilled. You'll be able to feel like you can accomplish anything, and you'll feel like you're on the right track. This is a completely different feeling than being off track or feeling off track. You feel like you accomplish anything. You're going to feel like, I can do it. I've got this. You'll have momentum on your side. You will grow as a person instead of being diminished, because you'll be interested in what you're doing. You'll have more enthusiasm for it. You'll be able to take the bumps better, because there's always bumps, professionally and personally. And how you roll with those bumps depends on how happy you are and how fulfilled you are, how unangry you are. If you're angry and frustrated, you won't do very well with bumps, because you don't have the capacity to actually handle them well, because your life force is so fixed upon being frustrated and angry. Your entire universe will change when you're on your mission and you're in alignment. You'll be happy and you'll be fulfilled. So it's very important that you choose yourself. I was shown this, that there's only one life preserver, and you need to take that for yourself. Now, this is very easy to say, and it can be hard to do, especially if it's within a personal relationship that you have invested a lot of time into. But right now, I'm just going to talk professionally to you. It is super important that you choose yourself. It's not narcissistic. It's not of the ego. It's not something that you should take lightly, because choosing yourself means, yes, I'm going to stand up. I'm in alignment. I'm happy. This is what I was designed to do. And I'm here to do what I was designed to do. And I want to radiate that out into the world, because that will come back to me tenfold. And I'm here to do the work that I signed up for. So super important. I just wanted to send this out to you today. Now, I do have a 3-month coaching program, which is called Empowered You. During that time, we are going to change and look at how you're operating physically, mentally, spiritually, psychically, because I believe that each one of those bowls needs to be filled. You need to have your cup filled to make sure that you can be the person that you really want to be and give to others the way you want to. It's going to change your vibration about how you feel about yourself, which will change your mindset. We're going to flip your mindset around what's not working for you to what will work for you. And a lot of this is subconscious, as I said. You'll be releasing your ancestral experiences that you may have picked up along the way, which, by the way, if you don't know more about that, I'll do a separate video on that, because that's a huge topic. But you do carry within your DNA and your body and your fields, your auras, your chakras, what your ancestors carried. So any type of agreements that you have in terms of poverty or being seen, that all comes into play with you today. So we'll look at that, and we're going to put you in perfect alignment with what your soul's here to do. So I would welcome your comments and your thoughts on this. And I will be sending out videos over this month. I'm going to be trying to do them almost every day. They're going to be short and sweet. I would like you to think about for your homework where you are settling in your life, if at all. You might be totally on point. You might be exactly where you need to be. But if not, take a look at your personal life, take a look at yourself professionally, take a look at yourself physically and psychically. You know, if you're overweight, if you're unhappy with the way that you look, it's time to make a change. If you're unhappy professionally, it's time to make a change. And personally, same goes for personally. And you really need to put yourself first, because everyone here on earth has a specific mission, and that mission is specific to you. And if you don't do that mission, if you don't accomplish it, nobody else can accomplish it. And we all are here as a collective. We all have that spirit of oneness. And what you do affects me, and what I do affects you. So it is super important that you can try to get dialed into what makes you happy? What makes your heart sing? Who do you want to work with? You know, what sectors of the world do you feel that there are injustices going on that you want to change? And what have you been living by that's, old and it doesn't really serve you anymore? Because choosing someone else, their path, their thoughts, their feelings does not serve you. You are here as an individual to shine your light, no matter where you are or what you're doing. And you need to shine as bright as you possibly can. All right, guys, if you're interested in the coaching, just DM me at my email address, jsalant5@outlook.com. And please leave me some comments and let me know if this helped you. Thanks, guys.